I would like to begin with first is speaking with Robin. Robin, if you could tell us a little bit about BEQ Pride Magazine and what we are doing together.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm having a little bit of an echo here, but I'm just going to push through it. You guys let me know if I need to be a little louder since I'm on the phone here. But BQ Pride is actually the culmination of bringing together the nonprofit community, the LGBT local community, corporate America, all coming together surrounding economic empowerment. And the magazine and the website are a platform for having a robust discussion about the issues that come up for business owners, for professionals that all happen to be LGBT.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robin. And what I'm excited to share with today is a big announcement that Robin and I have been working on together. We're in development of a strategic partnership, and I would love it if Robin takes the lead on that and explains what we're planning to do.
Sure. The great thing about having a national platform with a publication, it's quarterly, it's printed, it goes to national events, it's in front of corporate executives that are in supplier diversity, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion within corporate America. The idea of having a partnership, a strategic partnership with a magazine like Embrace that goes deep within a local geographic area, it gives us that soup to nuts in terms of everything that we need and to be effective for a corporate presence. So, for example, in your local community, you may have a big brand, let's say Amazon or like an IBM or Disney. They have a local presence, but they also have a national brand. And so having a partnership with a relationship with Embrace allows us to cover both of those. So for us, it's an opportunity for you to expand to a national audience. And for me, it's allowing us to be closer to a local market.
Absolutely. And one phrase that I like to use to describe BEQ, it's not their tagline, but I like using it. They're like the LGBTQ Forbes magazine to me because of the profiles that they do on the high level and CEOs and that sort of thing. So I love the idea of tying in business. And that also helps tie in what our other guests are doing here. They're all presidents of their local pride organizations. And what a lot of people associate pride with is a big celebration of what we've accomplished over time, but it's also a business opportunity because it's almost like a convention or an expo where people have different vendors there and also the different representations in either a parade or a stage format. So in essence, the different pride organizations represent a networking and business opportunity. And that's what Embrace and BEQ would like to focus on. So with that said, Paula, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us about Ocala Pride?
Okay, I'm president of Ocala Pride. I've been a member of Ocala Pride since 2015 and later served as a secretary in 2018. In November of 2019, I was elected the president of Ocala Pride.
And what are we doing in events with this year? Because 2020, let's face it, was a year
done.
that nothing was able to do. Everything was postponed.
I hope I can wake up tomorrow and I'll miss Thanksgiving and Christmas if it'll just be January 2nd.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so all the events that we had
Pandemic,
planned for this year have been postponed. So basically, Paula, you can tell us what we're going to do in the new year. In terms of
Our
events.
upcoming event will be in February. We're very excited. It's February the 20th. It'll be at Tuscaloosa Park. It's a Saturday. It's our Big Gay Day barbecue. We'll have live DJ, kids games and fun things to do. Of course, great food. We have our cornhole tournament. It'll be $20 a person to enter. The teams win $100 at the end of the tournament. It's just a big family fun day. I can't wait. Please save the date.
Absolutely. And will there be vendor opportunities
Yes.
for that as well? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
You know, I just want to point out here,
Yes.
she said something very, very good that a lot of people don't think. When you think about the LGBTQ community, family is a big part of it.
Yes, it
And
is.
people think it's not a family. Family's a huge part of it.
Absolutely, it is. If you look at the photos that we've taken at events, you see lots of kids gathered, having fun. Everybody's
Yes.
enjoying the music and the whole time. And Danielle can speak on this as well. We've attended like St. Pete Pride parades, where you see all these people gathered, families along the sides cheering it on. I mean, it's such a family-focused event.
It is a family-focused event. Pride doesn't have to, it's really evolved, and it really has become a really great family event, I think.
Tell us about your virtual event you had this year.
Oh, okay. My name is Daniela Lavani, and I am president of Lake County Pride. And this year, with the COVID situation, we had to take our very first Pride ever in Lake County virtual. So we did so, and I think it went great. I mean, I can't wait till next year. So
Yeah, tell us about some of the show guests that you had there, because that's what I found very extraordinary. This being her first year, she was able to get national recognized talent for a first-time show.
yes, I had Ginger Minge, who came in third on RuPaul's Drag Race, and he's fantastic. And it was a process getting the talent, but you just have to be dogged and determined, and work as well as you can with the entertainers, and everything seemed to come together. So
Absolutely. And Danielle accomplished something that I feel very important, which is bringing awareness to different causes there. So not only was it a fun gathering that people could have a good time and a way for people to showcase their businesses, but also the awareness programs that are so vital towards social programming. So what were some of those that you had there?
yes, we worked closely with. Oh my gosh.
Equality Florida.
Yes,
correct?
Equality Florida, correct. And Lake Sumter Gay Straight Alliance, Zebra Coalition. There were many people that gave input and that we gave shout outs to. The AIDS organization there in Lake County. Mama Ashley Rose, who has a wonderful nonprofit. So yeah, we tried to give as much exposure as we could to people.
How amazingly freeing is it that we're on the microphone, on radio, having these conversations that 20, 25 years ago, if you'd have tried to do this, people would have laughed you or cursed you out of the room.
Yeah.
How
That's
amazingly
right.
freeing is it that we're able to do this today?
Absolutely. Very
It's a
liberating.
gift, yes.
It definitely is.
One of the things she spoke of shout outs that I thought was very fun, because I tuned in for the entire show, were that people were commenting and saying, "You're giving me day club vibes. you're giving me life." Like that's what they wanted, to feel that fun and that energy that was so missing this last year. And they also gave a shout out to the Triangle Connection, which I think
Yes.
is very important to mention.
Oh, they're a wonderful long-standing group. They're in exist in the Four Corners in Lake County. They were actually my inspiration. Because I grew up in a small town, I wanted to let children know that there is a group that accepts them, and that and they have a scholarship. So that's why I started it, initially to raise money for Triangle Scholarship.
And speaking of inclusivity and diversity, you also had a representation from the local government community who is transgender. Is that correct?
That's very correct.
Nathan?
Yes, Nathan Broomer, who is he's on the board of Equality Florida, and he's a great friend and a huge supporter. And Equality Florida is a wonderful organization.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'd like to give Chuck a chance to speak now, since he was the former president of the Democratic Equality Caucus of Citrus County. He has extensive career experience coming from Washington, D.C., having worked for 36 years in the public health industry and in governments there. Chuck, can you talk a little bit about what you've been doing there in Citrus County, and what your contributions were with political game there?
Oh, sure. In Citrus County, I think the best background description is that we're currently living in 1969. And I don't mean that to diss the county or the people, who are all
Right.
wonderful. What I mean by that is that as an LGBTQ community, like many rural and semi-rural areas, we're just now building the foundations of a community.
Yes.
And these organizations are all brand new. And in the last 3 years, for example, we've had our first true organizations develop and start to flourish. One of them is a social group that's a closed Facebook group called LGBTQ of Citrus County that Anita Schofield started and manages. And the other is Equality Caucus, which you mentioned, which is a politically focused political activism group. And then the third is Citrus Pride, which is our nonprofit and our sponsor of the annual Citrus Pride event. And we formed, and this tickles me to death, we officially incorporated on February 14th of this year.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
Yes.
A pretty cool date. So all these things are really kind of starting to bloom, and it's an exciting time for us. And I think the whole area is kind of in the same situation.
Yes, I agree 100%. That actually segues greatly into what I'm trying to explain here and what we're doing with Embrace Magazine and this coalition of bringing smaller Pride centers together. And that's the opportunity to help one another grow. Ocala Pride has been 15 years.
Yes.
Lake County's in their first year. And Citrus County is in its third year, but technically, as he said, this year is when they incorporated. So there's need for helping each other out. That's basically what we come down to. St. Pete Pride has had a lot of success. We would love to emulate that here in this local area.
What took so long for this movement to get to the suburbs? What took so long for it to get to small America? Because it's been, there's a large Pride contingency in Atlanta. They have a big Pride parade during Labor Day every year that they do. It coincides with Dragon Con up there, a comic book con. Orlando has a big Pride celebration. Mm-hmm. What's taking so long to get to small America?
Who wants to address this first, Danielle or Paula?
I give it up to Chuck because I did grow up in Citrus County. So,
Chuck, what are your
it wasn't when I lived. It was, you never saw any kind of gay pride. You didn't have an organization or say like a bar that was gay friendly that you can go and see. So everything was kept kind of hush hush and quiet. So I give it up to people like Chuck and Danielle that they've having to come up from this kind of hush hush, keep it in the back doors kind of thing.
Yeah.
Could I also add? This is. I'm thinking
ahead,
about
Robin.
the idea of the commercialism around it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of business around the community knowing and owning its voice, and it brings dollars.
Definitely.
And more and
Yes.
more, we all realize that small business is the economic engine for our economy. And right now, we're all sort of, figuring out how we're going to do, how we operate with one another. So the idea of having a big gay day barbecue as a business opportunity, the people that come out there own businesses. They have families that they feed. I mean, people see it for what it is in terms of the commercial side of it as well. So I'll just say that.
Very good point, Robin. Thank you. Chuck, you were going to say something?
I was going to say that I think it has to go a lot with the heart of the culture, in rural
Exactly.
and semi-rural America. Things are slower, and people come along more slowly. Things change at a different pace than they do in the urban centers. So I think a lot of it has to do with that, and it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the nature, I think, of the people and the areas and the culture of the area.
How big a help was it when I'm a good Catholic, practicing Catholic?
Me too.
Yes.
We have not been the religion of tolerance for a very long
Correct.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
But now with Pope Francis coming out and saying,
Yes.
hey, everybody's a
incredible.
child of God. People deserve to have love. They deserve to have families. They deserve to have civil unions so that legally people can get what is rightfully theirs when their loved one passes on. And it should be across the board for anybody. How huge was that for people, small communities? Because now you're seeing with Lake County, their first year and all, when the Pope speaks, like the old E.F. Hutton commercials, when the Pope speaks, people listen. And for once, the Pope got this one right.
Yes, absolutely. Thank goodness.
So there's a critical mass around just that across the world, in bigger communities and in the smaller ones, which makes being able to know you folks just even more a wonderful thing, because you tap into the real America, the culture, what people are doing. That's amazing to lift each other up. Those are the stories we're really concerned that get out to the masses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robin. For me, I also think it's what was touched on earlier about the cultural experience. I'm from New York City originally, so I was exposed to a lot more coming there. And I think one of the great things of having people, migrate and meeting other new people is sharing their experiences from where they come from. So, with that said, where a community might be a little bit hesitant to step forward, having somebody step forward as a representative, people can share their experiences and make them feel more comfortable. I often equated it to being at a party and who's going to be the first one on the dance floor to dance, right? Because once you have the first two people there, then what happens? Everybody else gets to the dance floor and you have a party, right?
Right.
Very true.
Chuck, were you going to comment on something?
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, my husband and I moved here 6 years ago from Washington, D.C., which, of course, has, like many big cities, has a vibrant gay culture and community. And, so I'm just used to, here's what we do. And I think the secret is combining that with an acknowledgement of and respect for the rural culture. So if you can be the one to step out in front and be brave and model the behavior and the desire for a community and what that can mean for everybody, what that might look like in the future, but do it in a way that respects the local culture, I think that's beautiful if you can do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chuck. And I wanted to also use this as a segue to mention what Embrace Magazine is bringing forward to the community, just so that they understand where I feel the importance of this publication is. And I want to focus on the heroes issue, which I can put it to the camera and show what the cover looks like. We have a nurse on the front cover. She's an open LGBTQ person herself, and she was working on the COVID pandemic. She voluntarily went to New York City in one of the hardest hit neighborhoods, Jackson Heights, and helped out over there. And there are nurses all across the country doing this, but what we're trying to show is that the LGBT community is right there alongside with everybody else.
Always, yeah.
We have another story in here on Black Lives Matters, and we had an activist from South Florida, Deb Love, share her experience on her participation in the peace, what do you call those, the peaceful sit-downs or whatever they had, marches, peaceful marches. And with that story shared by Deb, I reached out to local people here and included the transgender Lives Matters. And we had 3 or 4 people step forward and share their experiences of what it's like to be that. So to me, that's the importance of having this publication so that the straight community can hear from the LGBTQ community's word of mouth, like what they feel they're going through, so it's understandable.
This magazine, from what I've seen, it's going to help curb the ignorance of the straight community.
Yes.
And as a person from the straight community, we got a bunch of ignorant people.
Well, it's just that we are here, we are proud, and we are just regular people too.
100%.
And I just want to emphasize that the word ignorant simply means uninformed.
Uninformed.
Correct.
They just don't know.
Yes,
So,
don't know.
so that's what we're trying to do, is inform the community what we're about and what we're here.
So I just want to chime in on that note, that very note about connecting with just regular people, but it's connecting with the humanity,
Yes.
right?
That's
and
so
I think
important.
that's what Embrace is doing so beautifully, is making visible what was already there, so that people can understand that we're just human first.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'd like to take the last few minutes for everyone to have a chance to talk about what their programs are going to be, what their upcoming events. But I wanted to say quickly, before I forget, that Embrace Magazine, the next issue is the arts issue, which is already in development. It'll come out February 1st. This is going to be our grandest issue yet. I'm super excited to share this with the community. Just to give a sneak peek, we have a profile on Mark Levine, a Broadway producer in New York City. He shares what he does in his contributions to advocacy and the arts and all that sort of thing. We have Stephen Michael Shire, who is a historian and biographer in St. Louis. We have fashion designer icon on Max Bravo from South Florida sharing his stuff. I mean, it's going to be an amazing issue. I hope the community embraces it. And, you know, not only with your readership, because we do need to get our circulation up. This is a startup publication. We need circulation and distribution up. But also with your brand partnerships with us. You know, we do need advertisers. And I understand the pandemic being what it is, so I'm willing to work with advertisers on what we can do. But I wanted to give a quick lineup of what our future issues will be. We have the business issue, as I discussed, where Robin and I will be introducing our strategic partnership. We're going to be focusing on a joint project together where we're honoring LGBTQ businesses across the country with excellence awards. And that's something that they've already started, that BEQ has invited us to do. And then on top of that, October 1st, we'll have our advocacy charity issue. And then January 1st, 2022, the Lux issue. If everything goes well the way I hope, by 2022, we'll be introducing the Town and Country issue, the business issue again, the heroes issue again, the arts issue, advocacy charity, and then the Lux. And with that said, I'm going to pass it on down the line.
Got about a minute 15.
Okay, if everyone can just quickly say what their events are and their contacts.
Sure. So our magazine will be out January 1st, New Year's Day, announcing our 2021 40 Under 40. These are people that are doing and being leaders in their local community that we recognize every year at BEQ Pride. And the website is businessequalitymagazine.com.
Thank you, Robin. Danielle?
Okay, I just want to say thank you all for having me, and it's great to meet all of you. We have our toy drive going on right now. Please go to our Facebook page, Lake County Pride, to check it out.
Paula?
Our last event is, again, February the 20th. It's Saturday at Tuscaloosa Park, a big gay day barbecue, and an annual cornhole tournament. Would love to see everyone out. Please come.
How can they find the information?
It'll be on our Facebook.
Okay. And Chuck, last word?
Citrus Pride 2021 is scheduled for June 26th.
Awesome.
My birthday. Oh.
Great first show, John.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you to all my guests for being here.
We'll be back tomorrow. Monday. Monday, the next Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
And happy Thanksgiving.
This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
A new audit reveals the state of California paid out about $1 billion in unemployment benefits to cyber criminals and prison inmates, including murderer Scott Peterson, during the pandemic. Democrat California Governor Gavin Newsom said in a statement, "Earlier this year, I launched a strike team to expedite unemployment benefits and minimize abuse in the system. While we have made improvements, we need to do more." As politicians tell Americans no to Thanksgiving gatherings, Americans are responding by traveling despite the dire COVID-19 warnings. The TSA is projecting more than 6 million Americans will fly this holiday week. Dr. Fauci is predicting the future to the Washington Post.
What we're doing now is going to be reflected 2-3 weeks from now.
AAA is reporting 50 million Americans will hit the roads this holiday weekend, with Sunday being the heaviest traffic. This is USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been taking vitamins off and on my whole adult life, and I've never seen any change. Not like this, not since I've been on Balance of Nature. I used to take prescription medication for muscle aches and stuff. I don't take that anymore. I wish I would have started it back when I first heard about it on the radio. And if I can give Balance of Nature any advice, keep it out on the radio, because I still hear these commercials from time to time, and I'm thinking, you people need to listen up. I mean, I'm over 50, and, your body starts wearing down. But Balance of Nature has literally changed my life. It really has.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
An international dog sled race that draws thousands of spectators to northern New England for 30 years will not take place in 2021 because of the pandemic. Organizers said the event in Fort Kent, Maine, the Can-Am Crown International Dog Sled Races, wouldn't be safe to hold this year. Plus, the races would have also been complicated by border restrictions in place between the United States and Canada. Elon Musk on Monday became America's second richest person, surpassing Bill Gates. The 49-year-old entrepreneur has a net worth of $127.9 billion. Musk added $100.3 billion to his net worth this year, the most of anyone on Bloomberg's Billionaires Index. Amazon's Jeff Bezos at $179 billion ranks him number one. Purdue Pharma, the company that invented OxyContin, pleaded guilty Tuesday to 3 federal criminal charges. 470,000 deaths have been blamed on opioids like OxyContin for over 20 years. Purdue agreed to pay $8 billion as the company moves through bankruptcy court.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-610-5739. 800-610-5739. That's 800-610-5739. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With politicians attempting to cancel your Thanksgiving festivities, one reliable fact of life will garnish televisions across America. Football and the National Football League will be here Thursday to rescue you from Aunt Emily's flip phone photos. 3 games are on tap. Houston will play Detroit, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Washington at Dallas, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. And Baltimore at Pittsburgh, 8:20 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Breaking down college football's top 25, USA Radio News, Dan Naraki.
The first college football playoff rankings of the season will release Tuesday with no surprises at the top. Alabama leads the way with Notre Dame at number 2, Clemson at number 3, and Ohio State in the 4th spot. Texas A&M comes in at 5 and Florida at 6 as the last 2 out of the 4-team playoff. The Southeastern Conference has 4 teams in the top 10 with Georgia joining the bunch at number 9. The biggest surprise of the rankings release was BYU's number 14 ranking despite a record of 9-0. The Cougars sit at number 8 in both the AP and coaches polls this week. Cincinnati is the highest-ranked Group of 5 team, coming in at number 7 with an 8-0 mark. The final rankings that will select the 4 teams that will battle for a national championship will be released on December 20th. From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
The 100th flight of a Falcon 9 rocket delivered 60 satellites to orbit for SpaceX Starlink network Tuesday night. The Falcon 9 rocket fired its 9 kerosene-fueled Merlin 1D engines and roared off Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral. For USA Radio News, I'm Lance Pry.
There's so much hand sanitizer on the market, but beware. Not all hand sanitizers are created equal. That's why you want to use 20...
Here at this station.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a bad Santa? Do people cringe before they open your presents? Has re-gifting your gifts become a holiday tradition? Well, you're not alone. According to the internet, someone somewhere did a survey, and it turns out 6 out of 10 gift givers are labeled as bad Santas. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed as a bad Santa, don't despair. There is a cure. It's not a pill or an elixir. We couldn't bottle it even if we tried. So what is this miracle cure for bad Santas everywhere? You'll never guess. So I might as well tell you. It's a discovery flight from Ocala Aviation. Yes, I speak the truth. Once they take to the skies, I guarantee they won't be trying to re-gift this present. A discovery flight will have people singing your praises as the best Santa ever. Never again will you have to attach a gift receipt to your present. For more details about this amazing discovery flight, call Ocala Aviation now. We have operators standing by. 861-7484. 861-7484. And Merry Christmas.
That time of year again. You found that perfect gift. Now how to ship it? Well, just